Hello and welcome to Simple Country Place, real life cooking, cleaning, and lifestyle. I have 4 meal ideas for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Welcome and enjoy. The first meal idea I have is a taco pie. So I'm dicing up onions and bell peppers. I always add those when I have them on hand to my taco meat and saute them together. For the crust of the taco pie, I have that pizza crust mix, and I'm just following packaging directions. I think it's just add water and mix. Once that's come together in a ball form, you brush it with olive oil and cover it and let it rest. I think about 5-ish minutes, but again, you guys know I don't time anything or follow recipes. I'm spreading it out to a baking dish that I have sprayed, and then I will be piercing it with a fork generously, the directions say, and then para-baking it for probably about 5 minutes or so. Once that's done initially baking, I am starting the layers. So I have some refried beans that I had just warmed up, and I'm spreading that as the bottom layer. And then I will be drizzling that with some taco sauce. Ortega is me and my husband's favorite, so drizzling that, and then I'll be putting some salsa con queso over it and spreading that out. So now I'm adding the taco meat that has those onions and peppers in it. I'm going to be doing a layer of that, topping it with some cheese, and then on top of all that, layering off-brand of Fritos, some corn chips, and then covering that and baking it. It's important to cover it, otherwise your chips will burn. Baking it just to heat everything up, melt the cheeses, finish baking the crust, probably about 10-ish minutes. And then I topped it with lettuce, tomato, and then some more of that taco sauce. My husband does not like sour cream on. If I were eating this, I'd put sour cream on, but I did not. Delicious. Anything taco. Super good. So this is cheesy hash browns that I had made prior. I pulled it out of my freezer. I'm popping that in the oven right away. With that, I am making chicken legs for my husband. And obviously you see chicken legs there, and I have drizzled them with some olive oil. I'm gonna put ranch seasoning on them, some paprika and pepper, and then rub that in really good and put it in my air fryer for 375, probably about 15-ish minutes. Out of the air fryer, I am taking them and wrapping them in some tin foil with some barbecue sauce, making sure they're nice and juicy, popping those in the oven to like glaze and melt that barbecue sauce. And here you see the chicken, cheesy hash browns, and then of course I made a side salad with that. Next, I am doing a sausage and potato skillet. So I'm dicing up some potatoes. Those obviously take the longest. This is a easy dinner. Those take the longest to cook. So I am cubing those up and getting those in the skillet first. And then to them, I'm adding some bell pepper and onion. And I'm doing like bigger chunks just because that's how I make this recipe. So I have that all sauteing, and I am taking kielbasa and cutting that up into chunks. For the seasoning, I always add Old Bay to this, and a generous amount, because I'm seasoning the potatoes, the peppers, onions, the sausage. So a generous amount of that, and also some black pepper. I do not add salt to this because the Old Bay is very salty. And of course, some parsley. Once the potatoes and onions and peppers have been cooking for a while, I make sure the potatoes are almost ready, and then I add the sausage, cook it all together, cover it, and let it finish. And I just serve that with some corn on the cob. This is one of my husband's favorites. Lastly, I'm making homemade stroganoff. I had browned some hamburger with some onion, diced onion in there. I'm adding a very nice, generous amount of garlic and letting that cook down for a while. I did not drain the hamburger because I am also then adding flour to eventually thicken this up, and I'm using the juices from the hamburger to act as like the fat for a roux. At this point, you would add beef broth, but I don't have beef broth on hand, so I always use bouillon or base. And so I added some water and then some of that bouillon powder. And I'm gonna let that cook down and marry the flavors together. Once that has cooked, a key ingredient is sour cream in stroganoff, so I'm adding some sour cream, mixing that all in. I did end up adding some half and half to this because the color, again, I do not measure stuff. The color just did not look right, so I added some half and half to thin things out a bit. that's all coming together. So I'm adding Parmesan cheese, again the shaker kind, and lots of black pepper. The broth is salty, so I do not add salt to this. Lots of black pepper and garlic. I did hit it with a little bit more garlic powder, even though all that garlic, but who doesn't like garlic? Mixing that all together and let it cook some more. So while that was cooking, I was making just boiling some egg noodles. I'm adding those in, mixing it all together. So all the noodles are coated and like the sauce is thickened up, so it's coating everything nicely. And I served that with some just biscuits in the can, you know, those open the can, pop them in the oven biscuits, and some green beans for a vegetable. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please come back for future videos, and I hope you enjoyed.